Welcome to Network Marketing Pro. My name is Eric Worre, and today I'm here with two of my dear friends, Danien Feier and StefaniaLoGatto&Danien. Yes, I get this right?
Yes.
Yes, and they didn't start off in network marketing as a couple. We're going to get to that, but they became a couple through this profession. You both built separate businesses. Together now, you earn over $1 million a year, $1 million US every single year. That's growing, it's getting better, right? Just warming up, right?
Yes.
It feels like getting started, but it's incredible.
Yeah, and it's cool because they've got different personalities a little bit, similar drives. Danien's kind of a no-nonsense, straight to the point, get it done guy. Yeah, is that fair? Very German. Bop, 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 bop. Stefania is like, blah! She's just like Italian, bigger than life. Just suck all the oxygen out of every room, and has a contagious enthusiasm for life. So it's fun to be able to hang out and chat with both of you.
Thank you, Eric.
Danien, let's start with you. Tell me about your background as far as prior to network marketing, prior to what you're doing now. What were you involved with? What was your life like?
So prior to network marketing, I was in school. That's really the only thing I remember prior to network marketing, because I found network marketing when I was 17 years old, so I was still in school. And obviously, after finishing school, I went into studies. I worked at a bank, and I pursued network marketing part-time. But although I did it part-time, it was always like my big dream and my big mission and my big focus. So I remember being studying and not even knowing what the guy in the front was talking about, because I was building my business,
Right.
That's really how it started. And there was a time where I struggled after 4 years. So I made a like $1,000. I think it took me like 2 years to make $1,000 in the business a month, and it wasn't really fast. And then 2,000, 3,000. Then eventually I quit my job and went full time. And when I went full time, it was really hard. It wasn't. I was expecting it. Oh wow! Now I'm free. Now everything's just gonna explode. But it was actually really, really hard. I had no skills. I didn't know how to build this.
When was this?
That was 4 years into it. So I was 21, maybe 22, 21 years old. Well, that is 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and at that point, I was trying to get advice. I didn't learn the lesson yet. You should only learn from people that have what you want. So I was listening to kind of like everybody around. I was listening to people that do not have success in the industry, and they started telling me, it's actually funny saying that today, this doesn't work in Germany. It only works in the USA. That's what they used to say. And now we're here in Vegas, so. But anyway, and what's funny is that I started to believe it. I started to believe it, and this virus went into my head, and then at some point, I really lost my dream and I quit. I quit network marketing, and I went into real estate. So I started a real estate company with a friend. We built it from scratch. Amazing experience, one that I learned a lot, but I also realized how hard it is to run your own business. To really be there. I think I did that 4.5 years, 7 days a week, not a day off, 12 hours a day, full on. And it's interesting. After that experience, which ended not quite nice, because there was a lot of personal matters with, here's the thing, what I always say about network marketing. In the beginning, I found it really, really hard to get the volume in, but at least the computer would always pay you. There's no discussions, there's no lawyers. If you have a great company, it just runs the check. You don't have to say, I felt like when I was writing an invoice to the real estate company, and it was a lot, well, whatever was a lot back then, like maybe $7,000 at a max, then they would be like, why are you earning so much money? Are you an architect? Are you what did you study? What's your background? And I feel like I had to explain on why I'm making more money than an average person at 23, and it felt like I had to do everything. I'm owned by the other people, although I wasn't employed by them. So it was crazy. And then I also realized that being in business for yourself, but not in network marketing, everybody experienced this. You make money, you write the bill or the invoice or whatever the name is in English, and they don't pay. Everybody had the experience that you actually make the money, you do the work, you do everything right, but you're not getting paid. So is not only making the money, but getting the money. So that's a whole different thing. And I just realized this is not what I want to do, you know, and I started to miss network marketing. I started to really, really miss it. And back then, when I ended this experience, just because of a personal decision, I was saying, okay, I don't want to work with people anymore that are of low integrity, that don't keep their words, that don't keep their promises, that don't, you know, aren't honest people. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna take some time off, and I'm gonna go on holidays. And I went to Dubai, first time in my life. I always wanted to go there. I remember landing at the airport, and I was like, wow, this feels like home right here. I have no idea why. I've never been to a country like that before, but I just felt, I wasn't even in the city yet. I was like, this is amazing. I want to be here. I want to be here. It took a couple of years to actually get there. Today we live there. But that's when I started to get back into network marketing. And then before, I had no idea about the different companies and the different pay plans and the different things. I thought there was only the one company that I was with. And I started to look around, and kind of took me like about 3 years to find the right, you know, circumstances, the right company with the right, you know, upline training, and especially because of the people behind it. It took 3 years to find the right people. And then about 6 years ago, today, it was 21st of September 2010. I took the decision to go pro, like what you,
right.
And that's why you speak out of my heart when you say go pro, take a decision to be a network marketing professional. So that happened for me that day, and since then.
Well, let's not get into that. Right? I just want to. I want to get the journey up until
that
then.
was the background up until the decision on that day.
Until the decision 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Stefania, how about you?
Well, me, completely different. I was very skeptical. Actually, thought that networkers were losers. Sorry.
Why?
Because especially in Italy, you have all these people that want to be, and they only talk about money, and they dress funny. And yeah, that was my opinion, and only really low class income at the time when I heard about network marketing were doing it, and they were always talking about what they were gonna make one day, and I never saw anybody becoming successful. And I was a little bit of a snob, but now I can admit it. You know, I looked at these meetings and I thought, whatever. It's, you know, only the people make on top of the tree make the big money. Mm-hmm. I actually thought it was really a pyramid scheme. So totally different. Daniel was very positive about network marketing. I was like, I will never do it. But I love the products because the products are really good. And so I began to use some of the products, and as you can tell, I talk a lot. And if I love something, I want to share it with everybody. So I started sharing it with my girlfriends, even though I wasn't selling them. And then the person that was selling it to me told me, hey, why don't you open your own account? At least you can start to make some money. And of course, she saw potential in me. And I told her, no, I will never do those things. But if you want, I can help you. So on her account, I began to send her clients. And then those clients turned in wanting to do the business. And we got quite good in our compensation plan together. And I began to go to meetings. And in this journey, I actually found out that network marketing was the best thing in the world. I was totally wrong. I can relate, though, to the people that are skeptical. Mm-hmm. It's just ignorance. And this is why, Eric, I'm so grateful for you, because you are actually elevating this business, and you are making a big difference. And I can now use you and your books and your shows and and all those people that you have, and to prove people that, like I was, that we are wrong.
The fact that you were skeptical is probably good.
Yeah, because I can relate to them.
Yeah, of course. Talk to me about like you got kids and your
Yeah.
family, and where were you kind of. In your personal life,
in that moment of my life when I was helping my friend, I was still married. We were together for 22 years, 14 years married. And then overnight, my life changed completely. We had 3 boys. Actually, one is American, the other one is English, and the other one is Portuguese.
Oh boy.
Yes, 3 boys, all in different countries. And my life was always dedicated to make my husband's career the best I could, by supporting him, by moving to all those countries. And we had a nice lifestyle. This is why also I didn't consider network marketing to become my career, because I wanted to be a mom. Mm-hmm. And then when my life turned around, when I lost my home, I had a big 8-bedroom villa, and I lost everything I had because of the divorce. Then I decided to start seriously. But for that, I was looking, and things with my partner weren't going so well. I didn't like to work on the same spot, because then you always have a boss when you have a partner. Sure. So I re-enrolled in the same company because I love the product, and I re-enrolled, and this time I re-enrolled with Danien because Danien was this young, successful guy that always inspired me. And
So you didn't re-enroll, you just enrolled for the first time.
yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enrolled for the first time.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
true. It's true.
So you saw this guy.
Yeah, he was very inspiring because what I liked about Danien, he was actually on one of those trips with the company. Even though I was his cross line, he was giving me all the tips and all the help I needed. And I thought, wow, what a great guy, just helping people. And then I loved that he was always honest, and I loved his skills. And the first thing that Danien did, actually, he took me to Vegas to see you. And this is
Like
3
before
years.
she restarted, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
before you get started, here's what we got to do. We got to prep you up, right?
Yeah.
Like we
Yes.
got
You
you
came
to
to GoPro?
Yeah.
get you to
'Cause
GoPro, and she went to GoPro, and that was still while because even though she didn't have the name on her spot, she still was on a hold for 6 months. She
Otherwise,
had to
everybody-
wait before to re-enroll. And in
Everybody
that
would
preparation
follow me.
phase, I took her to GoPro, and it was the best thing ever.
Ever.
Because we took this energy thing and packaged it into professional,
Right.
process.
Yeah, because the truth is that up to that time, even though we did become successful, we were 2 girls, so I wasn't alone. But honestly, we had no skills. We were just doing it out of whatever we felt was right.
Yeah.
But sometimes, if you have a personality like mine, it's kind of easier in the beginning. But then I would have never grown the way I did without your skills.
Without some structure.
Yeah. Structures from you, structure from Danien, because Danien is the guy that tells me, go left, go right, stop now, calm down, take a break. Because I'm like a little tornado. I would just make a big mess.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, there's value in that.
Yeah. And then with him, we grew.
So talk about now you've made the decision to go pro. Let's come back to you, Danien.
Yeah.
You made the decision to go pro 6 years ago. And I remember one particular time after you did a 90-day push. I don't know how long that was ago.
I think like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, something. But talk about your experience over these last 6 years.
So I heard once that there's 2 most important days in your business: the day you start your business and the day you start your business, right? And it's not the same day. Like the day you get enrolled and the day you actually decide to get good at it. And for me, that was that day. And what inspired me to take that decision 6 years ago was just a simple thought. And here was the thought. The thought was that in my head before, I looked at success in network marketing, and I would always think, oh, I won't be that lucky. Oh, that guy, I believe him. Like, I'm not saying anybody's lying here. I'm just saying it's probably not going to happen to me. I probably won't be that lucky. That's exactly the wording in my head. And 6 years ago, I was thinking, okay, hold on. If it maybe is not luck, but if it really was effort and enthusiasm and skills and dedication and all of this, would I be willing to just outwork everybody? And I was like, yeah, I'd be willing. I'd be willing to take more phone calls every day, to go to more meetings, to read more books, to put in more passion, more drive, to cancel even more things, to attend everything, to put even more priority than anyone. And if I did that for a year, and again, I just enrolled that in it. I took the decision. The first day I was thinking, okay, nobody knows me. Like, I could be the most crazy guy right now. I could be somebody producing nothing, or I could be this just unbelievable person. The truth is, they don't know. They don't know me. It's all going to be determined based upon what I'm going to do in the next 12 months. So would I be willing to do that? And I was like, of course I would be willing to do that. And so I built a bridge in my mind to actually believe not only that it's possible to become the 1% or something like that, but it's actually guaranteed if I work like the 1%. So I started doing that, and that's the whole magic. And I'm not saying it was always easy, but it was a whole different approach. I mean, when I got started, I remember the first week I put down a huge list, and I said, okay, let me do a case, kind of like a case study. Week number 1, let me talk to 100 people. Let me get this started fast. Let me invite them over, show them the product, show them the plan, get them enrolled, and see what comes out of 100 people, right? And I remember very well because I wrote it all down. I called 100 people. 34 people said, okay, you know what? I'm going to come over. I'm going to try the product. I'm going to check it out. Out of those 34 individual meetings, 7 people enrolled. 7. And people were like going crazy. Oh my gosh, this guy just enrolled 7 people. And I was saying, guys, that's not special. I talked to 100. I got 93 no's. You could do that. You just have to talk to 100 people, right?
Right.
And remember, Friday, the first week was over. I was sitting my 7 people down. I was saying, okay, guys, what's the plan? What are we going to do? We're going to just, play around, or are we actually taking this thing serious? Because you all know people that started network marketing that quit. There's no honor in that. There's no fame in that. There's no, either like, are you guys in or are you out? And they were like, no, you know what, let's do this right. And I remember we started back then and we had that commitment. We said, you know what, all we got to do is we got to show the products and we got to show the plan. We got to do this every single day. And we did it for 100 days. We did 100 meetings every single day. We're meeting at 8 o'clock at night, did the meeting, and throughout the day, all we did was more meetings and then try to get more people together. And that's how we started. And the particular time that you just spoke about was about 3 years into the business. So what happened? So in the beginning, first week got 7 people. After 3 weeks, we were 100 people in the group already. After 10 weeks, was more than 600. And after 9 months, I hit my first financial goal, which was $10,000 a month. And I have to say, I didn't grow up like her. She came from an entrepreneurial background. Her parents had fashion stores in Milan, so she was a whole different, she was used to a whole different type of money. For me, my dad's an engineer, my mom's working in a kindergarten, and I was in a hotel first time when I was 16. We had no TV at home. I don't recall going to a restaurant, except it was a birthday or something. So for me, making $10,000 a month was like unbelievable. That was as far as I could dream, I didn't even know there was something behind that, That's what happened after 9 months. And then it grew from there. It went to 14, it went to 24 a year after. And then something happened. I lost one of my leaders. I lost the biggest guy I had. He worked in my office. I promoted him. I endorsed him. I'm saying, I'm like, we were the 2 people doing this, And overnight, he was like, you know what? I'm going to just do something else, And that was kind of hard because what happened is that all of a sudden, it's not that he left. That wasn't a big issue. It was really more people started to get confused. How come this big guy's leaving? What's going on? And I've never learned that lesson, that people do private mistakes. They don't handle their finances right. And all of a sudden they get pressure and they take unwise decisions or whatever his backgrounds in private life. I hadn't learned that lesson yet. And that took me into a big, into a big hole. And for 16 months, the check went down to, I think, like 5,000 to 6,000 at that point, and from 24, And, at that point, I was like, okay, you know what? I just got to work my way out. And I remember sponsoring people every month. I'm sponsoring people. There was not a single month I wasn't sponsoring at least 3, 4, 5, 6 people, like continuously. And after I think it was 14 or even 16 months of continuous sponsoring, I wouldn't get my volume up. And I was thinking, it's impossible. Like, what is going wrong? It just wouldn't go up. So I booked the course that you did. And it was not only GoPro Recruiting Mastery, but it was in particular, it was GoPro Recruiting Mastery, but at the GoPro Recruiting Mastery, you talk about something called a 90-day game plan. And you were talking about how just within 90 days, people have changed their lives and have changed their careers and became from invisible to visible and all of that. And at first, when you said that, I remember sitting there, I was like, oh, come on, Eric, 90 days? That's too little, right? It won't happen. But then I remember you lined up all those $1 million earners. And I was far from that. But there were like a lot. Like, you remember, I don't know, like 40 maybe, or 50 even more, I don't know. And you asked them, how many people did you enroll, and from how many people is the volume coming from? And would you say there was a specific time frame and so on? And they all confirmed that there's been once, maybe twice, but for most of them, just one time in their career, a 90-day period, where they just gave it their all. So I was sitting there, I was listening to that, and I was thinking, you know what? I booked the Insanity Bootcamp ticket at that day, which was only kind of like 4 months down the road, or 3 months down the road, and I booked it. But I was like, you know what? I have never really ever given it 100%, like a true 100%, which really now I realize probably was more like 150%, like overly, but that's like 100, So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me do this. Let me give it 100% one time, 100%. And I went home and I canceled everything else but the business, like literally. It went to the point, it was an extreme experience. there wasn't a private text message. There wasn't lunch.
Hairdresser.
There wasn't, no, for sure. Or not
Did you
even
guys know each
hairdresser.
other at this time?
No.
No.
Okay. There was no taking a breakfast without having the phone in my hand. The charger was actually in the phone while I was talking because it was drained the battery all the time. And while I was talking, I was already preparing the next person and call them up and all of this. And I first said I would do 16 hours a day and sleep 8 hours. But then it went on to become 17, 18, 19, 20. I remember sleeping 3 hours a night. I remember sleeping 2 hours a night. I remember sleeping not at all for 2 days because we're thinking, wow, you cannot work all the time. And people would ask, how can you work at 3 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning? Who are you talking to? Well, guess what? On Facebook, there's always somebody online, either still awake or already awake, right? And it went crazy. So anyways, long story short, after 55 days, I stopped my experience because I was like, I need to sleep. I was broke, I mean, like energy-wise, but I made $98,000. And I jumped, like, I had a rank, and then I was paid 3 ranks below when I went into this. And not only I went up to that rank, but I achieved the next one and skipped it and went to the next one in 55 days.
Yeah.
And that was when then I came with that story
Yeah, I remember.
to Insanity Bootcamp, and I said, Eric, I have no idea what we're going to learn. I haven't applied nothing of what you're going to teach. Only one thing, which was give it a true 100%.
Yep.
That's what happened. And that was crazy.
Yeah.
And since then, things have changed. You know, that's when I became, visible. Let's put it that way. People started
became
knowing
somebody.
my name, right?
Yeah. That's how I noticed you.
And it's true. That's how she noticed me. It went all through the
To
company.
make us as my sponsor, nothing else.
No, I know, but people that, people that I would follow, that I would read their books.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they reached out, sending me emails. Hey, we're seeing what you're doing. You're inspiring us. I was like, what? Did that just happen?
I know.
Like things like that. It was interesting and crazy. And
Stefania, let's shift gears and talk about. I want to hear about how you decide to do this. You join this young guy.
Yeah, this young guy. I had no intention of dating him because I was really hurt from my relationship before. But I thought, okay, if he's so good and tells me to go and meet Eric Worre, let's go and see what it's all about. And I read your book, and while I was reading GoPro, I felt you were talking about me. And that's what's so magical about the book. And all of a sudden, after the 90-day run and Recruiting Mastery, was it Recruiting Mastery?
yeah, that was another GoPro.
Yeah. I came home and I went pro. And my whole attitude was different. And I actually did work harder than I did before because I began to believe in the profession 100%. I began to believe in myself. You see, I felt I wasn't good enough, even in network marketing, because of my prior experiences in life and because I never worked. But after that, my whole life changed, my perspective changed, and then he's very good at pushing me and telling me, come on, let's go. And he came to my first meetings to help me out, but sooner or later I took over. Yeah. And I even overtook my sponsor. Can I say that? No. You don't want me to
say? Yes. Sure, you can.
Yes, you're now in Italy. You're number one, yes?
Yes, in Europe.
In
number
all
one
of Europe.
woman in Europe.
Your company, number one, major company.
Yes.
So you've been able to work and parlay this, turn this into a huge organization.
Yes.
Now, when did you guys turn into a couple? How did this happen?
Well, Wally was helping me all the time and talking and...
Proximity matters, right?
Yes.
You just hang out. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, babe.
No, honestly, I don't know if you're going to say this, but honestly, my girlfriends are like, what is the problem? Even if he's younger, who cares? The guy's successful. He loves you like crazy. You have the same interests. You travel the world together. And it just happened. And he married me quickly because he thought I was going to run away.
Did you?
Yeah. He actually moved to Portugal where I was living just to conquer my boys. Because for me, it was fundamental that my boys would accept him. When you're a single mom, it's all about your kids.
Yeah.
But my boys, you were so smart. You made my boys ask me to marry you.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
See, he's working on all that.
Actually,
on
it
all
was
the
my,
angles.
my,
He's a good
my
talker.
tax consultant told me, if you want to win the heart of a single woman, you go through the kids. They need to love you. If they love you, you won.
Wow.
He really said that, and I was like, I love them. So, anyways, but it really happened. It's crazy that it's really true. I mean, they pushed you.
Yeah.
Right in the end.
Yes.
It's
How
insane.
great is
Because
that?
she was
Now-
afraid, and then
I
Sure.
was just afraid because he's younger.
How long you guys been married now?
1.5 years.
Yeah, 1.5.
It's
I'm
funny.
related
He's
to-
the one that knows all the dates. I'm like 2
I'm
years.
kind of like the girl in the relationship. I know the dates. I know,
You know the days.
all the things. She's
You
like,
got all the structure. She's just
Yeah.
like, whatever, let me go.
Yes. But
Nice.
we actually, I think we complement each other very
Sure,
well.
of course.
That's why I think we do well because we help each other in our weaknesses. And
yeah.
Yep. Well, here's what I'd like you to do. You guys know the Network Marketing Pro community. You know, these people around the world, you know, they're watching from countries all over the world, barely understanding English, some of them, but they're really wanting to understand this. Maybe they're watching with subtitles underneath, or maybe they're involved and they haven't had success yet, and they're not sure if this is for them, or maybe they're stuck or they're plateaued, or maybe they're successful, but they're not still stepping into their potential. What I'd like you to do one at a time, start with you, Danien, is look into that camera and just give them some advice. You're sitting there, you know, they're watching on their phone, they're watching on their laptop, they're watching from home, and just one-on-one, you and them, give them some advice on what they can do to experience a breakthrough.
Okay, that's awesome. So, it's actually funny. While we were having the conversation, I was actually thinking about what's the real reason this happened for us. Like, what's the real reason we were able to accomplish what we were able to, and it really comes down to two different things, I believe. First of all, to really get the belief in, like 100% locked in, and it's the belief that you've all heard of before, because if you're following Network Marketing Pro, you've seen all the speakers and all the people, and everybody keeps on saying that you got to believe in it, you know. But it really is one of the most fundamental things. If you can't see it, you won't achieve it. I'm really, really a big believer in that. So there is 4 different beliefs. There's to believe in the company that you're with. It needs to be rock solid. The same in the product that you're representing, rock solid. Like, clear all your doubts. You need to be like 100% on that. It's the belief in the profession, network marketing. If there's still something in your head that makes you wonder if it's really like a good thing to be involved in, or if it's 100% the best thing, or like get this straight, talk to the people, like follow everything. I mean, Eric's leading the way, you know, introducing thought leaders to the whole process and endorsing the profession. Like, you need to get the belief in network marketing, and most importantly, you need to believe in yourself. Just like I said before, I always thought I won't ever be that lucky, and as long as I thought so, I wasn't that lucky. That's the fun part. And when I realized it's not about being lucky, but it's about, you know, just making it happen, because it's not a gamble. You know, it's just your input is eventually going to reflect your output, and if you're ready to put in the input, you're going to get the output. So there is no luck or guesswork. It's just true work, you know. Which leads me to the second point. So the first is believe. Believe in yourself, believe in the company, in the products, in network marketing. The second is you got to believe in, you got to be willing to put in the work. I mean, we worked.
we still work.
We worked, but we worked. I mean, I just, sometimes when I look back the last 3 years now that we've been building together, like, if you were to ask us where we did meetings, I wouldn't even remember maybe 70% of the cities that we're in. I wouldn't remember the countries we were in. I would need to spend a lot of time to put it together. It is countless days and hours of traveling and doing and things and multiples at the same time, and it's been tiring. We've been crying. I've been driving to a meeting in the middle of the night and driving out, and you know, on the Autobahn in Germany, where you can drive real fast, you know, I go out and I would sleep just a little and wake up next morning still sleeping the whole night on the Autobahn just because I was tired, you know. Same for her. I remember she had like blisters on her hand from carrying the luggage from one train to the flight to the things. And if somebody tells you won't do this without putting in the work, I don't believe it. I haven't seen anyone. Maybe there's someone being lucky, but I haven't seen it. Like, so believe big time in everything. Also believe in your people. That's one thing that I learned from her. I became cynical in network marketing at some point. I enrolled somebody and, oh, this is a good one. Sometimes it's not just what you do, but what you think while you're doing it. And what I was thinking while I was enrolling someone was, oh, he probably won't make it. I signed him up and he probably won't make it. And I became cynical just because I was not 100% making it. And when I met her and she talked to people, she was full of childlike belief. I mean, she would enroll somebody, she's like, you guys are going to become the biggest. Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. You're so amazing. Oh my God, look, we can do this. You got all this content.
I believe in people.
Exactly. And that's the thing. She believes in people. And I did not learn that yet. And when I learned that, to actually believe also in people, you got to believe more in them, in themselves, that they believe. You got to believe more in them than they believe in themselves. So this whole belief part, and then be willing to put in the work, put in the priority, and work hard, and do not stop, do not accept until you get there. If you're willing to put in the work, I promise it will happen.
Yes.
100%.
Thank God it's recorded.
Yes. Stefania, what's your advice?
Oh my goodness, wait a second.
Talk to all these hundreds of thousands of people around the world.
For me, it was fundamental to find my why. My why were my kids, and when I started to have fears and I wanted to quit, a few times I wanted to quit in the beginning, then every time I looked at my boys and I thought, no, I'm gonna do it for them. I'm gonna work, I'm gonna change their lifestyles back to how it was before. I'm gonna make them proud of me. I'm gonna have more time with them later on. I knew I had to work for at least 5 years, and that's why I'm still working very hard to really change my life. I hate when people start a few months and then they quit. Oh, it's not for me. You cannot know in a few months. You have to learn. You have to learn the skills. You have to learn on the field. I made mistakes that even if Eric told me not to do them, I had to do them myself, not to repeat them. So find your why, work hard. It doesn't matter even how much. For me was the quality of work. I think people spend too much time on social media. I love to mingle with my people. I love to talk with my people. I love the true relationship. Even if I'm abroad, I would use Skype. I connect with my people. I would say that all my directs mostly are all successful and nobody's quitting my business because before they became successful, I believed in them, but I also created a relationship. I love them. They became my friends. I rejoice with them. I cry with them. And on top, we build a business together, which is the best thing ever. We are in Vegas now, and our team is coming from Europe to go on a yacht on a beautiful trip. And this is what makes it so special, and this is what makes it successful. And also be ethical. You don't need to lie. You don't need to fake it. Just be real. People will feel it. Be authentical. I always talk from my heart. I love people. I love spending time, like I said already, but I love being with them. And authenticity is so fundamental for people to feel and to grow with you and make a difference.
I love it. Well, both of you are amazing. I'm really proud of what you've done. I'm proud of what you're about to do. I know you're just getting warmed up. You're entering this new group. Yes. All of a sudden you're in the $1 million a year category. It's like, okay, now where do we go from here? Is this the end? Is this the beginning? Is this the middle? And what I know for both of you is just the beginning, because it's about how many people's lives you're going to be impacting, how many more people you can touch, how many more people you can help with your products, with the opportunity, with the relationships, with everything that we do.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you so much,
well
Eric.
done. Proud of you both.
Eric.
And thanks for your contribution to Network Marketing Pro, your contribution. I know we're going to be doing, participating in an event together in Italy.
Rimini.
In Rimini, Italy, coming up soon. So a 2-day event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got value from this show. And if you did, do me a favor, like, comment, share, tag, make sure other people see this, understand the passion and the drive and the determination, the belief that's necessary in order to be able to build a business. As you do that, more people will be impacted, and together we can make a difference. So our wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we do have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everybody have an amazing day, an outstanding week, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.